You're listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast presented by Arizona Lottery. Don't forget to get out and buy your holiday scratchers today. All right, with Jason Shear, I am Mike Luke. We have a lot to get to this show. We have Arizona basketball on the agenda. Hard to believe. Here's my wallet, just in case you didn't know. We have Arizona football and condolences are needed. I am playing hurt. I have an ear infection. I don't know that I've had an ear infection since I had tubes put in my ears when I was like 1. But Sheer, I'm here, you're here, and you know what? That's going to make my ears feel better.
You're a warrior. You know, people get injured and they don't play through injury. Look at you.
I have amoxicillin on deck. Very excited. All right, now, Arizona, Purdue, and we're going to get to a lot of Arizona football here as well, but Arizona loses to Purdue. Arizona drops to 4. We have, now, obviously, the one thing that we want to get to is Bruce Pascoe's poll. Bruce has Arizona at 5. I was sure you called it. You said that Bruce would have Arizona at 5. I thought he would have Arizona at 6. Bruce came through. I'm all right. I'm all right with this to have Arizona at 4. The only one that bothers me a little bit is that I don't understand Houston necessarily. I know they're undefeated, but they played absolutely nobody.
Yeah, I looked at Houston's schedule. I tweeted the same thing a minute ago. Houston's toughest opponent is Utah, maybe Texas A&M. So, I mean, but that's Houston every year. They don't really do it. Houston they can win it running the table.
Well, they're in the big. They start the Big 12 this year, so I don't think they're going to run the table.
Oh, that's right, Big 12. So they got Texas State, Penn, West Virginia, Iowa State, TC. They could theoretically win their next. Like, they don't go and play Kansas until February.
Yeah, but see, I guess that's my problem is I just don't know that I can look at Arizona's resume where you beat Michigan State, you beat Wisconsin, you beat Duke, and you lose to Purdue at Purdue, and that's where I have a little bit of a problem with it. But be that as it may, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, I mean, look, if we're doing it the way we should be doing it, it's 1 Purdue, 2 Arizona, 3 Kansas, 4 UConn.
I got no problem with that, but either way, we need to talk about the Purdue game. I am all right with this loss. Now, again, there's things about this loss I do not like. I do believe that Arizona is the best team in the country. I do believe that if they play Purdue on a neutral court, they will beat them. But Sheer, this was disappointing, though, more so than anything, because first of all, how lackadaisical the Wildcats were in this game. You can't just give up open threes left and right to white guys.
The loss didn't bother me. Arizona wasn't going to go undefeated, blah, blah, blah. But I agree. The way Arizona lost, I didn't come away from that game thinking, man, Purdue is just a much better team than Arizona.
Now,
I came away thinking of that game, why couldn't you just guard Fletcher Lawyer a little bit better? Why are Arizona's guards, there was a play that still sticks out today where Pella and Kylan didn't communicate at all. I think it was Lawyers hitting the 3, and Pella and Boswell are still talking. Why did you go get him? Why didn't you go get him? And Lawyers just already back on defense. It was really weird. After the game, Tommy Lloyd said that maybe he made things too complicated for the players with their defensive shifts and all that. So maybe that was a thing. But the communication was just completely off, and that's not normal for an Arizona team.
And it was just careless basketball. I know the turnovers weren't as bad as it seems, but there were 3 straight turnovers going down the stretch. And let's be honest here. The Tommy Gunn is an awesome, awesome, awesome coach. That needs to be said. My mom said I was too harsh on the Tommy Gunn in the post-game show. Mom, sorry. But there were some questions. This was an interestingly coached game here. Matt Painter definitely got the best of Tommy Lloyd in this game.
Yeah, I told you Matt Painter was a good coach, and you mocked me.
All right, here, I got to give Shear some credit. The My Bad Jason Shear movement, the hashtag My Bad Jason Shear movement is in full effect. Shear messages me, and he said, who should I give the edge to, Painter or Lloyd? And I said, Lloyd, duh, back the A. And then Painter went out, and again, it's a learning experience, but he certainly outcoached Tommy in this game.
The drop coverage against a team like Purdue, I just don't agree with. I think you can get away with it against most college teams. Purdue is number 1 in the country in hitting open jumpers. And with drop coverage, you're going to get open jumpers. And Purdue just made them. And it just didn't work. And that's why the zone worked. And that's another thing that I thought was weird. Arizona went to zone. It worked. Then Boswell comes in the game for Bradley. They go to man-to-man. Purdue gets right back up 10, and that's ball game. I thought that was a weird sequence also.
Is Tommy the guy? And again, I need to keep paraphrasing this. Tommy is A+. We're picking nits here. I don't want to go, so save all of the save all of the hate mail directed towards Jacob Franklin, not me. Is Tommy somebody who no matter how certain players play, he's going to always play them? I think back to Kerr Kriisa last year against Princeton, who was the worst player on the court, and there was never any inkling that he was going to take him out of the game and put in Kylan Boswell, who was better. Last game was kind of the same thing. Kylan Boswell was absolutely terrible. Jaden Bradley comes in. He and KJ Lewis and Pella wasn't good either. But both those guys come in, KJ Lewis and Jaden Bradley, and they start forcing some turnovers, get back in the game. They get it to 4. They bring them right in, and Boswell and Larson back in, and then the game's over. That to me is, I don't want to say a red flag, but it's at least a little concerning. I don't get it.
But aren't most coaches like that?
Yeah, but I don't. I guess.
Like for instance, like even Bill Self. Let's say Bill Self, Dwan Harris is having a bad game, and he comes out of the game for 2 minutes, and his backup comes in and scores 6 straight points. I guarantee you, Bill Self is still taking that backup out of the game.
Let me ask you this though: does Dwan Harris, in my opinion, has some more credits built up than Kylan Boswell?
Yeah, but remember, like
Dwan Harris led the nation in assists.
I know, but the biggest reason Kerr Kriisa is not here is because they gave Kylan Boswell the keys. And I think that if you're benching Kylan Boswell for an entire almost second half of the game against a big team this early in the season, Tommy just does it. Tommy's a very big believer in confidence, and you now have more to work on, I think, beyond basketball if you're benching Boswell in that moment.
But it's just like Chef Duarte said, the great Chef Duarte. Boswell is fine, just had a bad game. Why is it listen, Boswell's not playing well? Okay, we'll regroup next game. I don't understand the need to have to put somebody back in there that is clearly playing poorly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree.
Agree with me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think the other thing also is, as good as Jaden Bradley is defensively, he has been a minus offensively. I mean, You're basically, and I think part of Tommy's like, look, we cut the lead to 4, and then they had the possession where Bala missed a shot. They had another possession where I think they turned it over. They couldn't get over the hump. So maybe he thinks, look, Boswell's better on offense. I put him in. Maybe he can hit that bucket and get us over the hump.
All right. Now, the other thing, and again, there are not many times that we can critique the Tommy gun. We are going to critique the Tommy gun. The other thing I didn't understand at all was force-feeding the ball to Umar Ballo, leader of men, down the stretch 3 straight times, and you could tell that Zach Edey and Purdue were like, okay, let's continue to do that. That to me was also very interesting. Arizona's close. I got a lot better options than Umar Ballo, leader of men, against Zach Edey.
I think part of that was also that Edey had 3 fouls. And I think in Tommy's head, if Edey gets his 4th, maybe that changes the game. I don't think Ballo played nearly as bad as you did. Like, his stat line was perfectly fine against Edey. I think his teammates did him a disservice at times by
throwing the ball at his feet.
Yeah, like, I mean, he got how many passes? He had position on Edey, and then they give him a pass at his feet. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I'm not blaming Umar Ballo, leader of men. Yeah. I am blaming the Tommy gun for forcing the ball to Umar 3 straight times. None of those post-ups had any chance of working. Come on.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
This is, you know what? Sheer is more corporate than I am, because instead of saying I disagree, when you say I don't disagree, that's a real weenie way of getting out of it. Oh, Michael Candrea, back in the Tommy gun. Would definitely agree with that one. All right. Now, there's some good things to come of this. I've apologized many, many times. Sheer will apologize many, many times as well. Caleb Love, Sheer, you look like a total idiot.
Yeah, but I've turned that around very quickly. I never said that I hated Caleb Love. I said I had questions. Those questions were answered very quickly. Right? Like, every question I had was answered quickly. I never said, oh my God, this is the end. Like, some people were like, this is the end of Arizona. I just had questions about it. And
you said you wouldn't have added him. You did say this.
I wouldn't have. Times. I would not have. I was wrong. He's awesome. And you see why he's awesome.
We can also make fun. All right, now that we've made fun of Shear, let's make fun of somebody that's a better target. Hubert Davis. It just goes to show you, too, coaching. Coaching matters. Tommy Lloyd's not going to let him do what Hubert Davis did, and it just kind of goes to work. Caleb Love's a dog, man. I am super, super glad that he is on our side. By the way, Andrew Blejo, do not defend Shear here. There is no defending Shear. Do not do it.
The biggest thing that surprises me about Love isn't his shooting. He's doing a lot of other things. He's a much better defender. And he didn't defend well against Purdue like he did it. I'm not good, but most games he's a much better defender than I thought. His assist numbers, his rebound numbers, he's been, and I think that we found out that when things get tough against good teams, and you said this right away, Keyshawn Johnson and Caleb Love are going to be the two guys that get Arizona over that hump against good teams.
Well, because here's the thing. What makes this Arizona team so good is that you've got, in my opinion, those are the two stars of the team. And then you've got a lot of very high-level role players. Shout out Jay Mark about Oumar Ballo last year. Oumar Ballo, leader of men, calling him a role player. He is, but these are high-level role players because, again, Kylan Boswell, you got to have a few questions about him down the stretch in games now. This is there's been a couple times that this happened. Pella, for all he can do, still cannot dribble the basketball. That will always limit him. And Oumar is kind of heavy-footed, but they're all very good. They just have that one real drawback. Caleb Love can get his shot on anybody. Keyshawn Johnson can force his way in on anybody. Those are the two stars. But again, you've got a lot of really nice role players around him, and I think that's why it makes it work.
I loved Keyshawn Johnson early in that game. Purdue said, if you want to shoot threes, shoot threes.
And he made them.
So he took the two open threes. He made them, and Purdue didn't give him an open three the rest of the game. He didn't take a three the rest of the game. He just dominated inside. There's a reason why before the year we both thought he was a sleeper for Pac-12 Player of the Year. And he's not going to get it most likely. But he's going to have some games where what do you have, 24 and 8? Against that front court, like he was just awesome against Purdue, and I would expect the same. I think he's going to have a big game against Alabama and FAU also.
All right, now you might say that Arizona hit the lottery with both these players. Maybe you mean the Arizona lottery. All right, go out and buy your holiday scratchers today. Find a retailer like our good friends at Circle K near you at ArizonaLottery.com. You must be 21 years or older to play. Let me see. Do we have a Circle K read today? Oh, we don't have a Circle K read, but I'm going to give them a free plug anyways. But first, you can scratchers start at $1. Top prizes up to $500,000. And check it out. And game time. Let's say that you can't make it to the game against Arizona, Alabama. Are you going to that game, by the way?
Yeah, if they get credentials out.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, that could be a 9:30 tip. Sure, very impressive.
It will be a 9:30 tip.
Yeah. I don't like that. I will be watching it from the confines of the Back the Ace studio. But first, game time. If you will say you want to go hang out with Shear, Shear's going to be pressing the flesh, signing some autographs, kissing the babies. Get game time, and you can get up there and you can meet Jason Shear. It's worth the price of admission. Here's the deal. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. All right. Now, I do believe, though, that I am not dispirited by this game. I am dispirited by the effort. I thought it was somewhat lackadaisical, but I still came away thinking that Arizona is a better team than Purdue and that Arizona is the best team in the country. Will they win the national title? I don't know. But overall, I'm still okay with what I saw.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't really move the needle in terms of what I previously thought about Arizona. I thought Arizona was the top team in the country. I don't see any reason to change my mind now. Losing pretty much a road game against a really good Purdue team doesn't really bother me a ton.
All right. Listen, I have been wrong on Pella Larson. Obviously, my bad, Pella. The movement will continue. But this is what Andrew Blejo puts it perfectly here. This was the first game all season. Pella was back to the random turnovers. I don't understand why this happens. And they are the most random, weird turnovers ever, where it's like he forgets that he's out on the court, or he throws the ball at Oumar Ballo, leader of men's, feet. He was credited with 5 turnovers. It felt like it was 8. I don't know why this happens. He's almost 23 years old, Shear. Help me.
It feels like sometimes he just tries too hard, like he's forcing the issue, and he tries to just force it too much. Yeah, I mean it was pretty
It's
blatant.
weird.
It is weird, and it shows up. Like, the thing is, like, when he has the 1 or 2 turnover games, it's not a big deal. But they'll have these games like against Purdue where it just shows up and it's so obvious.
And
Those are the games he has to clean up.
And I think the thing is, too, is that they're the proverbial pick sixes. They're never turnovers that just kind of, all right, well, the other team got the ball. They always lead to a dunk the other way. BCAT, you've asked this 30 times. We will answer it now, I guess. What does Arizona basketball need to work on? Playing harder, being smarter. That's my biggest concern from this game. Just play harder, be smarter. What say you, Sheer?
Yeah, I mean, they play hard all the time, though. I mean, I don't think effort. I thought communication was a bigger deal than effort. Turnovers and I don't know, turnovers.
Now,
turnovers, yeah.
There was a very, very good point up here by Lost Highway that we need to discuss. The cheating. Now, the referees put points on the board that were not allowed. We were all over this. We knew this was going to happen this year. Here's my only problem with the officiating in this game is that they do allow Zach Edey to stay in the paint for 8 seconds. It happened. I mean, I guess, is that just the price of being tall?
Yeah, it was weird. They actually called it once, which was shocking. He did get 1-3 in the key. I just think those are the type of calls where the refs just don't call it. They just don't. Like 5 seconds, they don't really call either unless it's completely obvious. The only call that I watched, I said, "Good Lord," was the very clear what should have been a charge on Zach Edey when KJ Lewis made the play. And it was like, in what world was that a blocking foul?
Yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't really make any sense to me. The KJ charge was definitely an issue, but overall, now here's the cool thing about it. We're moving on now. Alabama and FAU. I expect, now again, take it for what it's worth. I expect Arizona to take care of Alabama. Teams that don't defend against Arizona, I think, are in for a rude awakening. I also think that they're catching Arizona at the exact wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, it's Alabama's a really weird team because, like, analytically, like at KenPom, they're 9th. They're number 1 in offense, but they're 6-4, and they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. But they're good. Like, you watch them, and they're a pretty good team. The problem is, like you mentioned, they do not defend in the slightest. Like, they're 105 in defense. They do not defend. They lost. They scored 86 points against Purdue, which is great. They lose. They scored 82 points against Creighton. They lose. I mean, it's and I agree with you. Yes, Alabama is trying to get a win, but wrong time, wrong place for Alabama.
Yeah, wrong time, wrong place. By the way, who wins in a game between Arkansas and Alabama later in the season?
Alabama.
Is that because you're rooting against Muss?
No, I've watched Arkansas. I think they suck this year.
All right. Oh, we got to make fun of Bobby Hurley for a second. This was not in the show notes, but we got to make fun of him. The great Jacob Franklin, who is conveniently not able to come on the show again today. Jacob Franklin. He was messaging me about ASU with who's the kid that got Adam Miller back. And he said, man, we're good now. We got an offense. This is when they're playing TCU.
Yeah, ASU looks awesome in the first half of that game. Adam Miller opens the game with 10 points. I bet you Jacob was feeling good.
Jacob, but it was funny. So I messaged Jacob in the second half, and and he conveniently is working on the Coyotes production at that point, not able to see it. This is all I'm talking about. Bobby Hurley, the game's within 1 point. Bobby Hurley gets a technical, has to be restrained by his entire team. TCU goes on a 13-0 run. Before you know it, it's a 25-point loss. I love Bobby Hurley, the gift that keeps on giving. He lost that game for him. It was wild. The team was done after he did that.
Yeah, who's the other? Didn't someone else get a tech? I think it was Gaffney got a tech.
Yeah, Gaffney got a tech, right. But that was at least from, but when your coach is the one that's getting the tech and the
player. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, in Gaffney's mind, I bet you there's a part of his brain that's like, I can get a tech. My head coach is a maniac. Like, why can't I get a tech too? Look, this is Hurley's worst team. And I don't know ever, but it's up there. It is not good at all. And the biggest problem that Hurley has is he might be the worst coach ever at roster construction.
Yes.
Like, he just takes players. He doesn't think about how they fit together, their strengths and weaknesses. He just takes a bunch of dudes that they just don't fit together.
Hurley needs to go. Chef Duarte, I will challenge you on that. I believe Hurley needs to stay. And by the way, bigger side. I tweeted this out. I think it's a great question. I stole it from somebody. If you're on here, you can say it. I'll give you credit. What's the bigger sideline maniac? Bobby Hurley or Mike Stoops?
Hurley, by far.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's where I'm going to challenge you a little bit and make the case for our guy. Mike Stoops was always on the verge of throwing his visor at the officials. And Mike Stoops, here's the thing. I always felt that Mike Stoops was this close to punching an official, whereas I think Bobby Hurley is this close to spitting on the official.
Yeah, the thing with Hurley is Stoops was very good at calming himself down pretty quickly. Hurley needs multiple people to calm him down.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough. All right. Now, FAU coming up then as well. I'm very excited about both these games because they're a little bit different. Alabama, you got length, you got athleticism. They're not very good. They don't defend. I expect Arizona to win. FAU has about as good a guard quartet as there is in the country. They've got a lot of nice little pieces. Both these games are awesome to me because the Pac-12 stinks. The Pac-12, we've talked a lot about a lot of bad Pac-12 basketball. Arizona's not going to get tested much in Pac-12 this year.
No, the Pac-12 is bad.
Is it a two-bid league?
I thought it would be better. I really did. I didn't think UCLA. We talked about UCLA being overrated, but we thought it would be better. Oregon can't get healthy. USC is. I mean, this is a big dub for me right now on the Trojans.
I need him to win some games in conference, man.
It's just bad. Like, Washington needed double OT to beat Seattle. Like, Arizona should have run through this conference.
All right. Hey, Andre Veras, Shear's going to agree with you on this. I disagree with this. Bobby Hurley or Dan Hurley? Dan Hurley at least knows what he's doing. Yes, he's got an explosive temper. You look at his roster, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he at least doesn't look like he loses his team during games, loses control, even when he's getting technicals. It's a difference to me.
Yeah, Bobby Hurley is a way bigger maniac than Danny Hurley.
All right, yeah, we just wanted to put that one on there just so that everybody knows. But overall, though, again, I think this team's going to lose like 3 games all season. Might lose because again, in conference, I just don't know who they're going to lose to. Maybe Colorado.
They'll lose a game like to Colorado, or they'll lose one of these road games. Do they play at Colorado this year?
That's a great question. By the way, KJ Simpson's another loss for you. He's good.
I'm looking. They do. They play at Colorado in February. That's probably a loss.
Yeah, they could lose that game. Will you? You didn't like KJ Simpson, correct?
No, I still don't really like KJ Simpson.
He's good though.
He's all right.
He's averaging like 25 and 5.
Shooting
like 53% from the field.
He's averaging 20 and 4. But yes.
I said 25 and 5. Listen up.
No, you said 25 and 5.
No, I said 20, 5, 5.
I want to see what happens when they play a decent team. Although he did score.
Yeah. TLN. TLN is saying, "Sure, I'll interrupt you as much as I want." He's
good job, TLN.
He's shooting like 53% from the field this year.
He's not inefficient this year.
So again, you can't go with this. Let's see here. Coming in late, Jesse Johnson. Come on, Jesse Johnson. We rely on you. We rely on people smarter than us to make us go. Any update on Boswell's health? What say you, Sheer?
I think Boswell was a little knee thing in practice the week. I haven't heard anything. Pella's the one I can't get an update on Pella, which kind of worries me, but we'll see.
All right. Okay. TLN says, I will guarantee you he will be inefficient by the end of the year. We will see, TLN. We will see on that one. I will hold you to that. But maybe here's the thing. Like, people are putting in there and they're like, well, 1 loss. Arizona's going to run there's just no way with that many games. You have to get up for everything as well. I don't know. I think Arizona loses a game. Maybe 2, but that's max. 2 max. Would you agree, Sure?
Yeah, they're not going to go undefeated the rest of the year. It's
Okay.
I don't think people really like you. It's what you said. It's not a skill thing or how good ones. You got to get up every single game. It's very difficult to do in college.
Michael Candrea, another good point. But first, something even cooler than Michael Candrea, and there are very few things cooler than Michael Candrea, the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Okay, let's say you're like Sheer and you were predicting an Arizona blowout against Purdue. How'd that work? Now, you might say, I'm going to go against Sheer because he's wrong on everything. You would be right on this. Go to BetMGM, sign up for BetMGM, use bonus code PHNX, place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. If that bet loses, your bonus bets will be available once your wager is settled. All right, now,
Mike, let's break a commitment. Let's break a commitment on your live on.
All right, hold on. Hold on just a second. Let me get this read out of the way. I don't want to get fired. And then sign up and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM Sportsbook and receive $1,500 back in bonus bets after you place your first wager if the bet loses. Now let's hear Shane Diefenbach with the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
All right, what's the commitment? Is it Aaron Butler?
No, I don't think he's done that one yet. But Jack Luttrell, the safety from Tennessee, just made his commitment official right now.
Gabriel Nunez, this was very funny. Fired twice. Everywhere I go. Jason Shearer's fired me as well, this jerk. All right, now, let's see here. All right, now let's talk about this. We're gonna get back to basketball. We got to talk about Mount Crevis because again, you know what? We're all over the place here, as we always are. Let's talk Mount Crevis, and we're going to get to Arizona football. I would like to see Mount Crevis play more. I know that he tries doing some things that don't really make try dribbling like 13 times under the basket and then tried to do a pass that would have been picked off by me. I'd still like to see Mount Crevis play a little bit more, Sheer.
Yeah, I would too, but that game wasn't for him. It just wasn't. You could tell when he took that dribble after getting the rebound. Even I think you even tweeted awesome. Like you can't dribble there. Like that's stuff that he's still learning against tough physical teams. You can't take that dribble, and so it's hard to play him in games like this. He'll learn, and he'll play quite a bit as the season goes on. But there's some games where he's just not ready for it.
Who's more likely to have the ball taken from him? Pelle Larsson with 5 dribbles or Crevis with 2 dribbles?
Come on. Probably Crevis. I'll never talk bad about Pell.
All right. Okay. Well, either way, Michael Candrea, I agree. All right. Now let's talk about some Arizona football. This was a big weekend for Arizona football. By the way, we're going timestamp right here, 28:38. Well, actually, it'll be a little after that. All right. Big week for Arizona football, though. A lot of high-profile people on campus. Let's start with the commitment. Obviously, you got Luttrell. What do we need to know about Luttrell? Because then we're going to get to some really high-profile players that I can speak to.
He's a guy where, when we talk about 3 stars that you look at the offer list, don't look at the rankings sometimes. Right. Like if you're a 3-star and you have bad offers, whatever. So if you look at Luttrell's offer list coming out of high school, he was a 3-star, top 1,000 guy, whatever. But Tennessee, who he committed to, Arkansas, Colorado, Notre Dame, like Texas A&M, a good offer list. And he's a guy very athletic, was crazy good in high school. They like him. He'll probably be a depth piece, but I think he's legitimately good.
And I'm totally cool with anybody that Arizona wants because they've shown that they develop these players. Now, let's talk about Aaron Butler. He would be the highest rated player in the class, top 100 kid out of Calabasas, wide receiver, one of the fastest players in the entire country. From an athleticism perspective, he can go pretty much anywhere he wants. There's a couple other issues, obviously, but he's a really, really good football player, was on campus, and he hasn't committed, obviously, but I do believe that Arizona is in very good position with him right now.
Yeah, he's a very, very good player. I think the only thing that really has kept him from committing publicly is that Washington is telling him to wait. It could be a situation where he doesn't sign on Wednesday. Washington signs their class, comes back to him and be like, you know what, we couldn't have the spot. There's ways that Washington is getting him to hold off. And even then, I don't know if he's going to wind up at Washington. He's just the type of kid where he's going to look at all his options. And his Arizona visit went well. He likes Arizona. They're legitimately in there. This isn't a situation where it's like, oh, if Washington offers, he's a lock to go there. He's just the type of kid where he's an early enrollee. He's handling the process the right way. They're going to sit down and weigh all their options.
All right. Now, also with you also have a player in Gresham who wide receiver, top 200 kid, Oregon guy. I believe that Arizona has a very legitimate chance at him as well. I like this kind of receiving. I didn't want to go out and get players in the market that are already established because I think we already have those on the roster. But I do like bringing in some high school kids for depth, and if they do outperform, awesome. Gresham and Butler would both be very nice additions from a skill on-field perspective.
Yeah, I mean, Gresham is look, Arizona believes that wide receivers on offense can change games. That if you have a very, very good wide receiving core in college football, let's say the other team has two good corners, well, they don't have a third, right? And so they're going to load up on wide receivers. And if you have the ability to bring in a class with Gresham and Butler amongst, Aldrich Harris, etc., you do it. And you're adding it to the talent already on the field, and all of a sudden you might have the best wide receiver room in the country.
All right, Joseph, very interesting point. We've talked about this before, Sheer myself. How do we squeeze Butler into the rotation? In my opinion, Green, Riley, and Jones take precedent over him. Exactly. That's why I like this. I think these dudes are ready to rock and roll. I think Malachi Riley and Kevin Green, I think they both have 800 to 1,000 yard potential between them. And AJ Jones has a world of potential as well. I think these guys are ready to take that next step. You bring in Butler, you bring in Gresham perhaps, and then you have a loaded room. I like internal improvement here, Sheer. I think they're going about this the right way.
Competition, man. It's always going to be about competition. And I think that people are still looking back at like the Kevin Sumlin, Rich Rod era where there wasn't really competition. You brought in guys to start immediately. And the way it's going to work out is that in the spring, this wide receiver room beyond T-Mac is going to be wide open. Like there's no guarantee Montana is going to start anymore. There's no guarantee Kevin Green is going to come in and start. It is going to be an open competition, and the best three guys are the ones that are going to start.
My only concern, and I'm going to challenge you a little bit, is this. And again, Jed, just like with Tommy, awesome A+ job. Jed does play, I don't want to say favorites, but Jed certainly has his players. Now, it started changing a little bit towards the end of the season, but for the first 8 games, Montana Lamonius Craig did absolutely nothing and would never come off the field. That is my concern about bringing in players that will not come off the field if they haven't really earned it, per se. I want the best man to win right here. Outside of T-Mac, I don't think anything should be promised to anybody, Sheer. Yeah,
I agree with that. And we did see it change at the end of the year a little bit, with Riley and Green, and we'll see. I just think that at the end of the day, Fish didn't want to take Cowing or T-Mac that left very limited snaps. Now that's moving a little bit. So let's see how Fish handles it.
All right. Now, DJ Wesselak, what do we need to know about this year?
I think he comes to Arizona. He enjoyed his visit very, very much. It wouldn't surprise me if he's another one of these guys. Look, Arizona had multiple commitments this weekend. And I wasn't kidding when I tweeted that they were waiting for their videos. Like Bryce Butler committed as soon as he got his video. I think he committed at 6:30 in the morning. Jack Luttrell got his video. I mean, it's a possibility Wesselak decides to commit today. I would be surprised if he doesn't wind up at Arizona. I think Arizona lands every visitor they had this past weekend.
This is going to be a very nice weekend for Arizona. End of time stamp right there, Jacob Franklin, 34:46. All right, now let's talk about this because Kevin Green, there will be no Kevin Green slander on this show. I believe that let me ask you this, Sheer. Right now, with the players on this roster, Jason Scheer is the head coach. Head coach Scheer with the headset and everything, walking up and down the sideline or pacing up and down the sideline. If you could start 3 wide receivers next year, from what you've seen, who would those 3 wide receivers be?
Guys on the roster.
Yes.
P-Mac, Riley, and Green.
Take that, Brad Rich. Take that, my friend. We agree entirely. And then after that, I think we go right there. Mikey Matthews. Mikey Matthews is a player that obviously. Where do we stand with him? I actually haven't heard anything with him.
I have a feeling, just based on the way things are playing out.
Yeah.
I'll
let you say it.
That it depends on what happens with the other guys.
He's being slow played.
Yeah, I don't like saying that, but yes.
Okay. All right, Brad Rich, you lose, we win. 2-1, Brad Rich. Take that. Now, defensive end certainly is another concern. Obviously, you're losing Taylor Upshaw, but again, Isaiah Ward and Deuce Davis, big fans of both of those players, but Arizona, I would like to see them add somebody. Will be interesting to see exactly how that one plays out. There could be a name that we know about, don't know, but could be. They're not done adding this. And you also need to remember this, folks. Just because you don't get somebody in the portal right now doesn't mean after the spring you can't get it.
Well, look, man, like Taylor Upshaw and CO, Arizona added those guys in May.
Right.
And Arizona does that on purpose. They're going to leave a couple scholarships open because what's going to happen is there's going to be players that come out of the spring that are not happy with their situation or that graduate and won't enter the portal until they graduate. And then other teams that are full, Arizona's going to be like, well, we're not full. And hey, look, after spring football, we have a starting spot right for you. Like they are very strategic in how they do that. But I think the Taylor Upshaw example says it all. Arizona got Taylor Upshaw after – in May.
I was trying to remember. Did Eccles come in? Eccles came in December, right?
I think Eccles did, but let me look, Mike. I can look.
Can you look this up? Do you have internet access at your house? I have fiber, by the way.
No. Arizona got Eccles January 3rd.
Yeah, I thought they did. All right. Also, now, Taylor Upshaw, cool dude. Probably wears Shady Rays. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Shady Rays and Gila River Casino. Robert Griffith, we will get to this point. That's a very good question. I had no clue where the Gila River Casino was, but when I was backstage leaving the Frank Caliendo concert, I saw the Gila River Casino, and guess what? I decided to stop by. It's got the cool blue little waves on the. Do you know where it is, Sheer?
Yes, I believe I know where it is. I've never been there, but
Gila River Casino and Resorts, very good stuff. Again, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. An immersive experience. All right, we're going to get back to football in a second, but when Robert Griffith asks a question twice, we will answer. I don't believe that Bradley will start for Boswell just because of the confidence factor that Sheer laid out there earlier, but I would like to see more Jaden Bradley. I liked what I saw. Sheer, what say you?
Yeah, Bradley, they're not changing the starting lineup barring injury. To me, Boswell's. I like Bradley, but you're really hurting yourself on offense. He's just not there offensively.
You've never liked Jaden Bradley, and you hope he transfers. You've said this many times.
I don't know about the last part, but I have been skeptical on Bradley this whole time.
He's been very good defensively, and he's made big shots. He's been the guy. He's made more big shots for Arizona this year down the stretch than Kylan Boswell. This is true.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, everybody out there, pass the word. Jason Sheer, not a Jaden Bradley guy. We got him on the board with Caleb Love. Now we need to get him on board with Jaden Bradley. Sheer, this will happen sooner than later. This is correct.
Yes. I'm very excited to see how he does against Alabama. I hope he goes and drops 20.
All right. Oh, Big Bill Norton. We got to talk Big Bill Norton. Kilroy, a.k.a. Lithium. I have no Big Bill Norton information, but man, we need BBN back. By the way, anybody out there, if you do know anybody that calls him Bill Norton, make sure that you correct him and say it is Big Bill Norton. We are changing that to his birth name. Sheer, we got to get Big Bill Norton back.
Yeah. No word on that. I'm still trying to find out, but that's my guy. We need him back.
We need him back. And honestly, that's another guy. You got to trust these folks in the transfer portal. This guy is 1,000%. Or these guys know what they're doing with the transfer portal. They're not bringing in bums like Big Bill Norton. Everyone's like, oh, I didn't play at Georgia. Well, I mean, Big Bill Norton, leader of men, Big Bill Norton. You agree?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Our guy.
Does Big Bill, that's a great question. Is there a way to reach out to Big Bill Norton that isn't creepy, that lets him know how much this fan base adores Big Bill Norton? Great question.
Mike, everything you do is creepy. So you might
That's
as well
true.
just go full Dylan Anderson on him and stalk him or
Hey,
whatever.
hey, I believe that I had a big impact, no matter what anybody says, in the decision to redshirt Dylan Anderson.
Well, yeah, you did. You single-handedly once again saved Arizona basketball.
Frank Caliendo did not. Frank Caliendo said I had nothing to do with it. I think Frank is a liar.
Whoa.
Yeah, I do not believe it. You can take that, Frank Caliendo.
Jacob, can we put that up when Mike calls Frank a liar, and I'll put it on my Twitter later?
Yes, I was going to say, Frank Caliendo.
No context whatsoever.
Yeah, Frank Caliendo, you are a liar. Chuba May. Is it Chuba or Chubba?
I'm calling him Chubba. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, but it's weird when because this is a popular nickname now or name, and now because you hear Chuba and Chubba, I'll go with Chubba. But Chubba May has all the Tucson buffets in shambles. I think he's going to be I don't think he's ever going to start. Obviously, he's going to be over 1 year. I don't think he's going to start, but I do believe that he is going to be a very nice, depth value for Arizona. Jason Sure.
I mean, look, the guy's going to be 350 pounds when he reaches campus. Plug him in for 10, 15 snaps a game when you're trying to stop the run, and you're good.
What's your favorite all-you-can-eat buffet?
Is there even a buffet in Tucson?
Oh, there is. There's a Chinese buffet down on, let's see. It's like Kino and 36th. Everybody out there, help me. It's very, very good. It's called like Mr. Lynn's or something. What is it?
The buffet I like is in Vegas. It's expensive as crap, though.
Which one?
The Caesars buffet is the best, but it's expensive, man. They've raised the prices. It's like $80 a person now.
You know what? The one I really liked, I don't even think it's open anymore, is the Harrah's buffet. Oh, Golden Corral. Yes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yavapai Duke for the win. Golden Corral's fantastic. That's not what I was talking about. Shearer, you are a food snob.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will not eat at Golden Corral?
I have ate at a Golden Corral. You got to ignore the health code when you walk into that sucker.
Well, I think that isn't that the case for most all-you-can-eat buffets?
There's a Golden Corral right by my house.
All right. By the way, G-Rod, what is the name of this place? I think you're right. Park and I-10. It's right off of there. What is this place called, G-Rod?
I know what you're talking about. Cody would know because Cody used to live right over there.
Cody always has the best gas price, or always knows where the best gas prices are. By the way, Park and I-10 area right now, Supreme. Yes, Lynn's Grand Buffet. Shearer, you've got to try it.
I've been there. Believe it or not, I've been there.
It's good.
It wasn't bad. I went there years ago. It wasn't bad.
And there's always people in there. Lynn's is very good.
For lunch, everyone that works in the neighborhood goes there.
Yes. Thank you. G-Rod, you are the man. Appreciate you, dude. Lynn's Buffet, very, very good. Gandhi cuisine off India. Of India is an scare. Yeah.
I can't roll with an Indian buffet. I can't do Indian food very much.
Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't really like it either. I see where people would like it, but then I also I don't want to get in trouble. It's also this one. I've been to this one though before. It's kind of buried like into a little like sidewall off of Fort Lowell and Stone. I know exactly where you're talking about. Let's see, Churrasco. Hey, have you been to Churrasco's Deep Brazilian Steakhouse? Is it good?
It's not bad.
Oh, by the way, people out here, Jason Shearer obviously was not born and raised in Tucson, but there is no excuse for this. He has never been to Lucky Wishbone.
I haven't. And there's one right by my house, too.
Will you reconsider this?
We'll see.
All right.
Isn't it like at this point, don't I have to go all in?
What do you mean go all in? I'm just asking you to go once.
Yeah, but like I'm all in, you know?
All right. Yeah, bit of a dice roll. All right. Now, real quick, one more read here, and then we're going to sum up everything. AZ Lottery. Go out and buy your holiday scratchers today. Find a retailer like our good friends at Circle K near you. Circle K, the Circle K on Tanque Verde and Kolb. Is that where it is? Or Pima and Kolb? I can never remember which one. Right now, $2.49 gas. Check it out. But back to Arizona Lottery. You must be 21 years or older to play. Again, scratchers start at $1. Top prizes up to $500,000. All right, we keep getting Zoom Diallo questions. I don't know, man. I got no feel for this commitment or recruitment whatsoever. None.
He is deciding Saturday. My guess is Washington,
right.
But when I say guess, I really mean guess. It's not like my educated, like I don't know. I really don't know.
Right. Let's see here. Bruce goes there. We were actually really, well, we can't, was Wink there? Oh no, Jacob Franklin. You did save me on this one. Thank you, Jacob Franklin. Wink. Have I told you about Wink, Jason Shearer?
Look, you have, but I can never stop hearing about it.
All right. Here's Wink. It's a drink with a wink of THC. All kinds of good stuff right there. Right now, you can buy these inside of your cannabis Tucson dispensaries, all Sunday Goods locations, and in Tucson at Green Med Dispensary. Now through New Year's, we are running daily specials to count down to 24 together in all dispensary locations that carry our product. Bruce at 5. We're going to try to get Bruce on later in the week. Sheer, can you come on? Jacob Franklin, do you know what day I'm taking off this week? Because it's normally Wednesday. Jacob Franklin, if you could let me know on this one. Either way, it's going to be, I think it's Friday. Sheer, can you come on Friday? We're going to try to get Bruce back on.
I cannot.
Why?
I'll be driving to Vegas, dude.
Are you making this up?
No, I'm driving to Vegas on Friday because the game's on Saturday.
Well, I know, but why can't, well, you can wait till 11:30 and then drive.
Please, you know me. I'm leaving at 7 a.m.
Dude, you don't even wake up until like 10:30, dude.
I wake up at 6:30 every morning, and then I go back to bed. You know, now that we have you here, comments, I want the comments. You called me at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. Can people in the comments please tell Mike how absolutely unacceptable this is?
What do you mean?
8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. No one can do that. That's against the law.
I can't sleep in past, hey, Jacob Franklin's got it way worse than that. Jacob Franklin starts getting texts from me at about 6:15 or 6:30.
You can text me whatever time you want.
Yeah, but you're not going to wake up.
Yeah, that's why I said you can text me whatever you want. You cannot call Sunday 8 a.m. Good Lord. Yeah. But no, really, I'll be driving to Vegas.
All right. Well, again, maybe, all right, I'll find somebody else. That's fine. Oh, how about, real quick, the Chance Comanche news is wild.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Chance, and obviously I haven't talked to him in a while, but I covered Chance when he was like 14 years old. And you know how, like, you watch the local news and they're like, I would have never expected it from this person. That's Chance. Like, I would have never expected this from Chance. Never.
Right. By the way, man, it seems like people are agreeing with you on this, Sheer. Text is one thing. Call on a Sunday at 8 a.m. is criminal.
It is. It's insane. No one does that.
Michael Kent. Oh, and Ken Trey is agreeing with you.
They're all agreeing with me. Look at the comments. You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? One thing that you do know about me is if you tell me to not do something, I'm going to do it even more.
Dude, I need to put the do not disturb Michael Luke only thing on my phone.
Is that a can you do that on a phone where you were for just one person?
Yep.
TLN says I had a coworker call me at 4 one time. Wild. Interesting. All right. Well, anyways. All right. We've done yeoman's work here. Sheer, where can they find you?
Wildcat Authority, Wildcat Scoop Podcast with Shelby at Jason Sheer on Twitter. We're pre-writing the next 3 days. What signing day is going to be wild.
Oh, by the way, T-Burns 826. Mike, call him at 5:30 a.m. on Sunday as he's coming back from Vegas.
Dude, listen to my schedule. I'm going to Vegas on Friday and Saturday. I'm going to Flagstaff on Sunday. I'm going to Phoenix on Monday. And then from Phoenix, I'm flying to San Antonio.
Are you but you're not going up to the game Wednesday, are you? You're not going up. I can tell you're not going up.
Oh, yeah, I am. So, yeah, add that. Wednesday, Phoenix, back here Thursday. Back Friday to Vegas. Yeah, no, I'm there. I'm everywhere, baby.
Signing day is Wednesday, right?
Yeah, that's going to be a miserable day.
Oh, might actually have to do. I'll have to call Jacob Franklin after the show. We might actually have to do something on that one. But, all right. On that note, though, Check out these shirts before we sign off. Jacob Franklin, pop this shirt up right here. These things are going like hotcakes. Jamari Phillips' father is putting these out.
Yes.
Jamari Phillips' father is BTFD, the great James Phillips, and we brought his uncle along board, Jason Phillips, as well, who has now joined the Back the A movement. Check these shirts out. Go to gophnx.com or PHNX Locker. You will thank me later. They have sizes for me, Jason Shearer, Jacob Franklin, or Rich Carrillo. All right. On that note, we're going to sign off for the day, but we will be back with you tomorrow. For Jason Shearer, all of you guys out there, you're the best. Appreciate you all. I am Mike Luke, Jacob Franklin. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.